Hello everyone and welcome to today's tutorial. My name is AmaIkechukwu. In this particular video, I'll be sharing with you some chess culture and chess principles. Good, let me start with the relative values of the chess pieces because we need to know them. The pawns is worth 1 point. The rook is worth 5 points, which is equivalent to 5 pawns. The knight is worth 3 points. The bishop is worth 3 points. The queen is worth 9 points. The king is not attached to any value. The king has the overall points of the game. So if the king is checkmated, the person who administered the checkmate wins the game. So that's why there is need to protect the king at all time on the chessboard. Good. Over to the chess culture. In playing chess, there are basic principles you need to understand while playing chess. Since you've known how to capture and move your pieces on the chessboard, it is very mandatory to understand how to connect your pieces on the chessboard while playing against your opponent. Always know that every move your opponent makes on the chessboard, if he is a very strong chess player, the moves are best moves. So you need to find your own best moves to play on the chessboard. Before you get to your best move or knowing what to do, you need to pass through these basic fundamental principles of chess. The first one is develop your pieces quickly at the beginning of the game. Chess games can be divided into 3 stages. We have the opening stage, and we have the middle stage, and we have the end games stage. So at the opening stage, we need to understand the kind of pieces to use, the pieces that to come outside, and the where to place our pieces to have safe chess games. The pieces on the chessboard can be divided into 2 categories. We have the minor pieces and the major pieces. The minor pieces includes the pawns, the knight and the bishop, while the major pieces include the queen, the rook, and the king. So if you want to open your chess game, how do you start? As we know that the pawns move 1 step forward or 2 steps forward, you know that we have pawns, the knight, and the bishop as the minor pieces. So you can choose to start your game with the knight, or you can choose to start your game with a pawn. Good. So if your game starts with a pawn and black wants to respond, knowing this basic principle also, you will start with the pawn or with the knight. Now, if both of you have played knight, or if you've played knight as the white player, you know chess is turn by turn. So after playing your white piece, which is your pawn, to e4 square, and black respond, you need to know where he played to and know how to respond. It is very advisable to be aware that the pawn strength increases as it moves towards the end of the board or towards the other side of the board, towards the opponent's side. So once you have your pawn developed, the next piece to look out for is either your bishop or your knight or one other pawn. That brings us to rule number 2, controlling the center. So now we want to bring out knight, bishop, or pawn. Where should you bring it from? Towards the center, and you start from the center of your board, which includes these pawns and since you have played the first pawn. So now, if I want to move my knight, I will not move the knight to the edge. I'll move the knight toward the center of the board, such that the knight will have ability to assist at the center of the board. So the knight now can target this pawn and capture this pawn. So that is why most of the times when you develop your knight towards the center, it has the ability to reach out to many other squares. So number 3 rule can be develop your pieces to a square that gives them maximum space. If the black player wants to develop a bishop, the bishop will be coming out to a square, to this particular square. Why? Because it gives it maximum space to attack more squares and reach out to more pieces. If he is to play knight, Next, now if I'm to bring my knight from this particular square B1 to A3, my knight will be limited in attack, where it only has these two squares and this particular square to come to in case of danger. But if my knight was to be on a square which gives maximum space, I'll have squares such as this square, this square, this particular square, and this square to run to. So bringing your knight to a square that gives maximum space is very important to know. Good. Before you make any move, always have a plan on the chessboard. So if you are to make any move, think of what plan you have before you make them. So let's take, for example, I have this first move here, which is my move, which is the move of the pawn to this particular square. My aim now is to control the center. That's having a plan. So the next part, black plays and responds, is having a plan also. So the next one is the knight, developing my piece towards the center and controlling the center. So over to capture. Let's say after this particular move, we have knight comes out here and bishop comes out, trying to castle with the plan in my mind to keep my king safe. Black wants to attain the same thing too. So after castling, we now have a semi-developed game. So after this stage, we can now look forward to, okay, what can I capture? Now that is where the knowledge of relative values of pieces comes in. I can see a capture for the knight. Yes, the knight can choose to capture this pawn. But if the knight captures the pawn, the white knight will capture it back. So I won't do that. How and why? Because knight is 3 and the pawn is 1. If I capture the pawn which is 1, I'll be losing 3 points because the rook, because the white knight will capture it back. So white has my black knight of 3 points, and I'm having white pawn for 1 point, so I'm losing. I believe with these few informations, you can try to coordinate your game before move 10 on the chessboard, just to be safe. Remember, try to castle as fast as possible. Then in addition, don't block your bishops. When you see openings to bring out your bishop to an active square, bring your bishop to an active square. Then lastly, don't bring out your queen too early. It is very common with beginner players. So I believe you've learned something from this video. Thank you for watching my video. Please do not forget to subscribe and turn off the notification button, so in case I post new video, you can see them. Then share this video to your friends and like our video. For every question or suggestion, you can drop in the comment section box. Thank you and have a wonderful day.